Oof. Morning, everyone. Hey, Ken. That's a little better. Let me add some lights. I'll be back. Hey, Pedro. Dave, how are you? All right, that should be a little bit better. Hopefully, it's probably a little still a little too bright, but we'll make it work. Shows off my 5 head. All right. Give it a couple more minutes so we get started. Roger's at the doctor today, so it's just me, but he did send me all his goodies, and we did narrow down the trade setups today. So we've only got about 10. And we will go through them. Yeah, I know. Stuck with me again. But I've got all his goodies. Yeah, it's tough. I'm getting a new camera soon. We just hired a video guy. It's gonna look a lot better. I don't expect him to be a miracle worker, but uh production value should go up. We're even thinking about multiple camera angles, so it'll get nice and fancy. God, that is really bad still. Hey, Adam. Maybe one day, Tim. We'll get it going. Any questions or concerns I can brief up, kind of go over, address before we kick it off? Yeah, that's what we're going for, Mark. The kind of guitar, it's a hollow body. Ibanez hollow body. Hey, Mason, good morning. Well, it's afternoon now. Look at that. All right, let's kick it off. So Roger left. When getting into these places same day, what is the ideal exit? So Greg, you can't go wrong with closes higher than previous day's high. I mean that exit. If you use that exit, your entry can be pretty bad and still be pretty profitable testing wise. Um, be careful. That's what I would say. Be careful if, for example, you have a gap up, or unless there's a huge catalyst, I tend to like to get out of stuff in the morning. Like for example, in our Alpha Top Stock SLB, gapped up pretty good this morning, and a lot of times it'll sell off after about 10 o'clock. It'll kind of fill that gap back to the downside. So, and we were already up 55%. So might as well lock in the gains. But that's the only thing I'd be careful of. We're doing a lot of other testing on different exits, actually, especially as we're getting into the day trading coming up soon. So for now, that's still the exit that I trust the most, but stay tuned, I guess I would say. All right, I got a couple stories for you guys, and then the hit list, and then we can go over seasonality, and then anything else. Good question. Michael says, what about exit for losing trades? Break support. Yeah. Okay. So typically, what we used to run for swing trades is if you use that exit close above previous day's high, it will get you out even on a losing trade. Because if it goes against you, eventually there'll be a move back to equilibrium, and it'll get you out. That way, you're not selling a falling knife. But I will show you an example real quick. It will. That's why we only hold 10 days, but we've been doing a lot of testing to try to cut that down even more. Let me show you an example though, real quick. I'll just pull up Boeing because it's a good question. Okay, so I did just type a random ticker in, but I kind of know where these things are. Let's look at Boeing right here. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, that's a daily chart. I'll read the chat in a second. I don't want to get distracted. All right, so typically, if we saw it right here, that's a pullback from a swing high, 2 to 3 days. That would be awesome. We would typically get into that setting. Now, if we were trading just on the close of a previous day's high, we would have to wait. If it starts to fall, we'd have to wait till it kind of retraces back a little bit. But with key levels, we really like to trade this setup a lot. And you see, all right, pullback, smallish pullback, looking forward to at least test the high again. If I got into this trade, if it starts to break, this is kind of a wide range because there's a gap. You want to give it a little bit of room because maybe you didn't get the last down day. But say we're 2 or 3 days in and it breaks 221. Well, realistically, it's broken the move, right? It broke through the support level. Typically on those, we're going to go ahead and get out, right? Because it didn't do what our hypothesis, if you will, on the trade was that it's going to pull back a couple days, test the highs again. If it breaks down, it looks like a shift change. It's probably a good idea to get out. So we do use key levels, and we're starting to use them a lot more, actually, especially as we're really locking into this pattern that we really like to see. Hey, Billy. I was answering a question, but now we're going to jump into these, what Roger left us. So if you have another question, hold it to the end or just for a minute so I can get through these. I want to make sure I do my assignments. All right. First one to report on the investment in China being limited by the revenue rule. So U.S. curbs on investment in China may be limited for the revenue rule. A new U.S. proposal to limit investment in China may apply only to Chinese companies which obtain at least half of their revenue from cutting-edge businesses such as quantum computing, artificial intelligence. Bloomberg News reported, citing people with knowledge of the matter. That's great sources there. Revenue provision would limit the scale of an executive order of the U.S. government anticipated to introduce in the coming days as an effort to curb China's access to sensitive technology. The rule would allow U.S. private equity and venture capital firms to pump their money in larger Chinese conglomerates, which may have AI units, but get most of their revenue from the other divisions. The order will forbid U.S. investments in AI from military end users and require notifications for funding and other AI activity. It's expected to curb investments in some quantum computing activities, such as key encryption and sensing, and certain super advanced semiconductors, according to the report. The rule would not be retrospective, so that their curbs would not be on the investment. I guess they would be grandfathered in any prior investments to the rule. Orders likely to come into effect in about a year, due to the time needed for additional industry commenting and rulemaking. Final version of the order is expected to be far less ambitious than the earlier versions and will likely only apply to new investments. In July, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said order will be narrowly targeted and would not have a fundamental impact on the investment environment for China. However, China has spoken against the proposed investment restrictions. The provision on revenue would mean that Chinese companies most affected by the PERV would be the early Chinese startups. So if you're looking to get in on the ground floor, they might be ruining the party. That was the first thing. He didn't leave me any other comments. It's kind of a hot topic. We sent it was Yellen that we sent over there, wasn't it? China to try to make peace on our upcoming semiconductor Cold War, if you could say. So I guess the peace offering didn't work as well. So if not the carrot, then the stick. What's funny about that is last night my wife likes to watch a show called Madam Secretary. It's kind of an older show. A little political, but she likes it. It's a good storyline. It's stress-free TV. A little bit of a stress, but not like some of those other ones where, like for example, I used to watch Blue Bloods, show about NYPD. Super intense. I had to stop watching it because I need to de-stress, after trading. Yeah, all semiconductors are down. That's a good point. Yeah. Does have a good cast. But in that report, they were the episode I was watching was a bill between Russia, China, and America about AI and military use. Kind of a collective ban on autonomous weapons. So Pretty interesting. All right. Speaking of AI, was a hot button topic for a really hot sector the last few months until about, I don't know, a month ago. But it's according to Citibank analysts, it's starting to the AI party is starting to fizzle out. Nvidia slips down even more today by 2.5% on Wednesday, even though Citibank reiterated its buy rating after the company unveiled its GH200 Grace Hopper super chip. I don't know where they get these names from. Analyst Atif Malif, who also has a 560 price target on Nvidia, said move to boost memory on new chips adds to its prowess. This falls in line with our expectations that Nvidia will provide new versions of AI accelerators with higher bandwidth and given capacity. AMD strategy to offer more in-chip memory in its upcoming MI300 GPUs as compared to the H100s. AMD is slated to release its MI300 GPU AI accelerator chips later this year. In addition, Malik said NVIDIA's continuous push to make AI accessible with its new NVIDIA RTX 88 generation GPUs and NVIDIA AI Workbench will allow pre-trained AI models on workstations and PCs to seamlessly scale to virtually any AI data center or cloud platform. NVIDIA will report second quarter earnings on August 24th after the close. The consensus there is $2.07 a share on 11.06 billion in revenue. So big release coming up there. You know, I'm going to be honest. I think Roger specifically picked these articles because there's so many tongue twisters in this. Definitely feel like he's messing with me just a little bit. Oh, that is tough. Grace Hopper. Oh, didn't know that. Very interesting. Yeah, Roger and I had a disagreement a few weeks ago about probably about a month ago about AI. That he thinks it's a fad. I think the investment will start pouring in. We'll see who's right, but I think it's going to come a lot faster than people think. Unlike, so for example, a technology like what are those things called? NFTs. I think the use for that's a long way down the road. I agree with Roger on that one, but the AI part, I think that's coming a lot faster than people are ready for. Franco says, I work for an AI company. The tech is amazing, depending on the application. Yeah, and the thing that really shocks me is the concept of being able to speak to a computer. You don't have to code anymore. I don't know if anyone's used Chat GPT, but I was using it this morning. I found this really long list of code for an indicator that I was kind of testing. I was trying to figure out this one part. I mean, this is like 8 pages of code. So I just uploaded it there. I said, hey, can you explain what this is doing? And 10 seconds saved me an hour. And it's free for now. I doubt that will stay that way. All right. Now that my tongue twister session is over, what you've all been waiting on, the good stuff. Where's my share screen here? Number 2. Get this back to even. All right. So we've got breakouts and continuations, downside, and a few pullbacks. But there's only 10. So we listened to the poll. We narrowed them down. Can't make everybody happy. Let's see. Yeah. Jack says AI and blockchain growing faster than tech did in the 1990s. Well, yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, but I think it's kind of fundamentally built in, right? The computer is. I'm not a computer scientist, but I do understand that with AI, the pure definition of AI is that the updates eventually, especially in these high level computers, it'll optimize itself uh, to a pretty good degree of accuracy. Instead of 30 years ago, if you wanted to make an update, that was all manual. And we look how fast things still developed. But now it's, exponential, even more. All right. First breakout / continuation. I bet, Ken. Boeing. Funny enough. Feel like I picked a random ticker. I might have had that short-term memory just pop into my head. AI. I mean, BA. Let's see. Good uptrend after earnings, making a swing high on lower volatility. And a pullback right here. Nope. Just kidding. There we go. Making a swing high on lower volatility. You can see the divergence of the RSI right here. We got to this level. We're extremely overbought. It's starting to diverge to lower levels, so it's giving itself a little more room to break out. Let's see here. I actually really like this. On the intraday, I think it might have a little more downside, to be honest. So I'd probably wait and see. I found I like to confirm the move a lot more than I like to get the lowest price. So on these setups, we're really breaking both. This is VWAP, volume weighted average price. This is 2 standard deviations. When we're breaking below it, I like to see it run up, break through VWAP, and then I like to get in around here as it's confirmed that it's pivoting. Because when it just kind of hums around here, the certainty is not as high that, it could, one, just stay here, or it's got a lot better chance of turning around and possibly filling this gap a little bit. If you wanted an option, let's see here. If you're trading this breakout, to be honest with you, I mean, that move's going to happen in the next few days, or it's not going to happen. You really don't have to go that far out at all. Little risky, but I myself would actually probably be inclined to take maybe the August 25th. Probably wouldn't go as far out of the money. I'd probably take the 237.50s for the August 25th. If you want to be a little more conservative, you could take the September 1st or the September 8th. Right now, this is think or swim, but I actually do most of my trading on Schwab because the customer service is way better. But truth be told, I do all the analysis and the stock watching on think or swim, and then I just execute in Street Smart, which is Schwab's version of a downloadable broker, whatever this is called, software. Yeah, well, it is because I believe it is, Franco, because they also bought TD Ameritrade now. Yes, it will, but TOS is not going away. There was, I think actually there was a plan where they were going to discontinue it, and they had so much pushback, even though this thing is so old, that they decided to keep it. If you've ever had a code as far as the indicator in Thinkorswim, like a custom scan or a custom indicator study, it is, I mean, this thing is a dinosaur as far as the coding language. Super unintuitive, very old, very difficult until you really get a handle on it. but people love it. I'm one of those people. I also love this. Next one, we've got Walmart. Good old wall. Looks pretty weak right now. I'd hold off. Again, probably wait till it breaks VWAP. If it's gonna break out. We are in the low volume period though, so a lot of these like this, check back around 2:30, 3 o'clock, see if it starts to go. Then I'd probably take the breakout. Street Smart Edge has much better colors and users. I have Street Smart Edge on here. If you guys want to here, I'll even show you guys if you want, so you can make up your own mind. Just let me log in. Yeah, Ron, it actually, ChatGPT can code in Thinkorswim somewhat. It's not 100% accurate, but it'll get you most of the way there, and then you can kind of troubleshoot it. So if you were wondering, this is what Street Smart looks like as far as the charting. I do like the zoom feature better, but coloring, I don't know. It's kind of the same. One thing I will say though is it's faster. My Street Smart's about 1 to 2 seconds ahead of Thinkorswim, even on my non-paper trader version. Tastyworks probably the best coded. DOS is much older. Honestly, the easiest thing to code is TradingView because it uses PineScript. You could watch YouTube for an hour and figure out how to do that. Speaking from experience there. All right, Walmart looks kind of weak, but if you wanted to take it, again, don't need a lot of time. Probably can do the September 8th. Actually, really, the September 1st. I take the 240s, probably spread it with the 250. Cost you $2.50. 6.5 cents a contract, Tim. If you're asking about the commission. Okay, next one. So same story as BA, up gently on lower volume, falling earnings, good relative strength comparison to the broad market. Also pulling back. Nope, that didn't change. It's like, that looks really a lot like Walmart. Oh, it still does. Also pulling back. But this actually looks good. This kind of slow upside, you'll see that a lot. Once it hits its bottom, a lot of these stocks will do that all day long. Let's see, earnings. Oh, yeah. Earnings were better, way better than expected. 30 cents. Yeah, Roger is the doctor. Next one. Oh, nope. Option. Wow, they're cheap. You don't even need a spread. That's too high, though, in my opinion. That's getting pretty up there. Take the 21s, but it's 12 cents out of the money. You only got 16 days. So that means the implied premium in there is like 75, 80 cents, which is a ton. It was WMT and the 162.50s. Next one is EMR. Let's fix that. There we go. EMR. A little spready. FSLY looked a lot better. This looks really weak. And it's kind of consolidating choppy. I don't know about that one. So it's holding up really, his notes are holding up really well after earnings, ready for another step up, but approaching resistance. If breaks could be huge, but could hang around a while. Yeah. I don't know if that's an all-time high, but that's a quite a while high, but I don't know. That makes me nervous. I don't like that typically. If you wanted to play it, EMR, I'd probably I'd give myself a little more time on this one. I'd definitely go out probably to like the 8th, maybe even, honestly, I'd probably take the monthly. September 15th monthly, I take the 97.50s. It's only a 10-cent spread too. That's a lot better. Let's talk about Dish going up. How does Dish look? Dish looks really strong, Cyrus. You should send him an email. Let him know. That looks, wow, looks like it's turned a new leaf. Look at that. Where's my drawing tool? Pretty accurate. All right, next one. DuPont. The note was great looking continuation play. I don't think that's in effect anymore. That's breaking down, looks very weak. I'd probably skip that one. Downside opportunity, RPD. Huge gap up to the upside, but it had earnings. It's kind of forming a pennant. I don't be risky. If you wanted to do it, it's still expensive. If you want to risk it, maybe take the 45s expiring in 9 days. Just don't put a lot of money on it. I mean, you could have a huge move. You've got a lot, even if it fills the gap halfway. I would really look at the volume though. See if the volume sustains the next day or two. All right. Second downside right here is PIN. Yeah, that looks like it's just going to keep that. That looks nice. Missed the top side move, but it's nice to get in when it looks like there's some a pattern forming. Can keep confirmance. That's what I was trying to say. There's some confirmation that it is heading towards the downside, and the options are really tight. You could take the 2650s in for the August or the 25ths. You really don't need a lot of time on it because if it's going to come down, it's going to come down fast. Look for end of day weakness. You're already getting that. I would jump in. You got a lot of room. You got $2 up still on the day. Okay, and then my favorite segment, 4 more. Pullbacks. DraftKings. Gap down to the bottom. The downside? That's what I meant to say. Gap down to the downside. No earnings. Must be a news catalyst. Oh, yeah, it's because of ESPN's gambling deal. That makes sense. Yep. Yeah, Doug. Let me get to these other. Actually, I'll do that right now because I'm gonna forget. Raytheon. Roger would never trade that, but honestly, you're a little oversold. It's tough. This is what I would do. If I was going to trade it, I'd wait till it hits the $98 level, 88, excuse me. If it breaks out, I think you got a lot of room to ride that puppy back up, but there's a good chance it rejects this and heads south. If you were going to go long, I would wait. If you're going to go short, I would also wait. I'd maybe get in short right before 88. And if it breaks out, I just quickly get out because it's probably heading north. Vice versa. However you want to call that one. Did I give you guys an option for DraftKings? No, I didn't. Watch for closing higher, otherwise don't do it. It does not look like that so far. It looks like it's still going to continue moving down. But if it strengthens up, I'd probably take let's see. Yeah, I'd take the September 1st 29s or the 30s. They're both pretty tight. The volatility is high, but not actually too high, considering the move today. That's probably a pretty good value. Yeah, good point. CPI tomorrow. All right, next one, DHI. There's two more. Hey, good name. DR Horton. Notes are roaring back. Should reach 130 plus. Looks weak. I'd again wait to see if it gets stronger at the end of the day. But yeah, got a lot of room. Definitely bounce really hard right here, right off support or previous support. If you want to take an option, you're going to want to give yourself a little more time on this one. I'd go 30 days out. That's too spready. I'd want to see that tighten up. But I can go out of the money a little bit. Siege. Yeah, you could take I'd take the 129 on the 8th. Totally my opinion there. Kind of can't go wrong unless you go way too far in the money or way out of the money, too short of expiration. There's kind of a sweet spot, but you've got a little dealer's choice there. Hold on, I got one more and then I'll go over it. Last one is RL. Ralph Lauren. Looks ready for a leg up. That was the notes this morning. It does not appear that way now. You could still get in. You'd be getting it at a good discount. It is relatively strong. If it breaks 126, though, I'd stop out. You could take not a lot of choices here. That's a little too close for my comfort with this one. I'd take the September 15th 130s. And if you wanted to spread it, I'd use the 140s. 135 is a little too tight. All right, RISRJ. Oh, before I go there, what's your indicator Williams percent R? It's another measure of overbought, oversold. So it's a 5-day. It's very similar to the RSI, just a little bit different in the calculation. It's made by Larry Williams. It's very creative with the names there, but it's really accurate for, like, if you want to pick tops per exits, that's a great, if it's now it's inverse. So it goes from -100 to 0. If it's above negative, where it's a -5 or above, typically you're going to see a pullback the next day. It's very accurate with that. So if you're trying to squeeze every last cent out of a trade, if you're getting that signal, the cows are coming home, typically. I do, Brandon. Send me an email. I'll send it to you. Ingrid, I do not know what the Williams fractals are, but I'll look into it. Fractals are a fascinating concept, especially in math. I am a little bit of a closet math nerd, as I'm not that closet because I'm an analyst, but I like the real abstract math. Okay. I do, Cyrus. Quite a bit. Thanks, Ken. There's something called kernel analysis, which is pretty high level topic, but it's really just if you think about evaluating an investment opportunity on a 2D variable, right? If this happens and this happens, we get in. These kernel analyses are looking for groupings of things that happen. They were instrumental in the Renaissance Fund, and it's pretty hush hush about how they still work, but really fascinating. That's really where my math nerd stuff really kicks in. Okay, I'll do it right now, Joe. Yes. DraftKings. Let's see what I said. I said it looks weak. I wanted to break through VWAP, get a little bit stronger, but right now it looks bad. But you got a lot of room, so you can wait and see later today. The implied volatility is not too bad. You can do the first or the eighth, and you can take the 29s to the 30s. It's kind of dealer's choice. Look at that. Thanks, Brandon. Brandon says he recorded. Apparently, this is what I said last time. You're on host and panelist, by the way, so they can't see that. 91 or 9-1 30 strike. So look at that. At least I'm consistent. All right. Last thing. Your seasonality. Okay. Wow. Look at that. All right. CMP looks excellent. Earnings, you got a lot of time. Now, this is just on seasonality, but that looks really good. 24 trades, 10.8 profit factor, 87% win rate. That's pretty good. But you've also got, look at this, American Airlines, CMG, First Solar. They have been really getting kicked in the mouth lately. But if you've noticed, energies have gone up, which kind of, if oil is going up, solar is going down. In a lot of cases, not always, though. Semiconductors, SMH. EPAM, low trades on those, but Texas Instruments, tech, industrials really kind of ruling the roost there on the short side. It's like, for example, Texas Instruments, technically a technology company, but they're kind of an industrial company. So they service chips. Oh, you know what's funny? I think I hear Roger's voice. And then all right, you can take your pick. There's a lot here. Well, 24 trades, MSI, PHM. I don't know if I would short if that's Pulte. I don't think I would short PHM. Do not short that. Just strike that from the record. Delete that from your brain. Do not short this stock. Okay. Hopefully everyone heard me. Because I don't want people to look at this and say, I shorted PHM and they don't short that one. At least not based on my recommendation. All right. Long side. Hormel. Very strong. Notice quite a few consumer staples up here. General Mills. That's not Kellogg, but is that Kellogg? No. Is that Kimberly Clark? Ah, it is. Look at that. Pepsi, same thing, all kind of moving together. Be careful with tech, especially anything related close to the semiconductors. Again, more consumer staples. They show up as consumer defensive. I haven't been able to change it because it's pre-automated through the code people, or the software we use. But yeah, there's Kellogg right there. Procter Gamble. Yeah, quite a few consumer staples seem to be in right now. Something to keep in mind there. 10-day hold. Definitely not QCOM. DuPont. All right, we're about to do something live right now because I'm really tired of guessing. I don't know if this is going to work, but oh my gosh, look at that. I had a hunch. Now we don't have to guess. Wow, what a great day. Perfect. I'll start doing that every day now. Gosh, that is so much better. Anyway, back to 10-day hold. NVIDIA, stay away from it. SRE might be interesting to look at. Energies are really hot. A pod, that thing will not go away. It's been on for a while. D is Dominion Energy. That makes sense. 24 trades, 83% win rate. Energy's hot right now. First Energy. Not much else. As far as 10-day weakness, be careful with that. Be careful with that. I don't really see anything that I love there, to be honest with you. Yeah, just be careful. Man, how great is that the company name shows up now? It's like Christmas right now. I don't look very excited because I don't ever look excited, but I'm really happy right now. That's awesome. All right. That's all I got, folks. Any questions? Need to see anything else? Want me to shut up? Let me know. See you, Joe. Mike, Dan, have a great day. Sure, USO. Monica, you said please look, but what's oh. The is that the minis or the micros? All right, let me look at USO first. You, Manny, on the chart or on seasonality? I'll give you both. Seasonally, it's strongish. 12 trade, 75% win rate. That's not bad. Let's see here. And on the 10-day hold, kind of moot on the 10-day hold. On the chart, looks like it, well, made a little bit of room for itself there. I mean, how do you not like that, though? That looks awesome. But just might not be the day to get in. Okay, the mini. Could have a bounce here. It's got 2 levels of support at 44.93. But let me look here. It's pretty oversold. I don't really trade futures, so I'm not sure how much these indicators apply as well to the futures. I'll be full disclosure there. But I don't know. I'd take a chance on it. But if it starts to slip, probably this is what I would do right here. You can get in because you'd be on a good value. Because you can get in because you got good support right there. If it breaks below that, I'm out. Just kind of your box. And then personally, I don't like breakouts on swing trading, that is. So if I get in, I'm taking profit probably a little bit before 4,600 because I got plenty of room to make a nice gain and get out. Or at least going to sell a good portion of it. You can save a little bit for the possible breakout, but the problem is on these, you can get a really big downside move if it's the wrong day at the wrong time. So you can lose, half, 3/4 of your profits. USO. Yeah, I mean, it's a red, it's a red candle. It's an inverted hammer candle technically, but it gapped up. So it's kind of same thing as the rest of them. If it gets strong towards the end of the day, I'd probably get in. If it continues going down here, you'd probably want to wait till a pullback. It might touch 72.50, probably a little bit above that. Yeah, it's Williams. It's right here. You can modify it. Oops. It's right there. You need to test the Williams alligator. It's a funny name. SMCI. Wow. Tough earnings. So Roger's rule of thumb is give it 4 days after an earnings surprise. Then you can trade the a short-term reversal. So if this continues to go down, give it another couple days, you can get a pretty high accuracy rebound because there'll be a lot of short covering. But other than that, I do not like volatility. It's just too unpredictable. I want to find a stock that's doing this, and I want to get in, there's not big pullbacks, but maybe here or here, because I know there's going to have to be a very big catalyst for it to change the trend of this. or especially like pullback from a swing high. Same thing. You would need a big news cycle to mess with it. Otherwise, it just doesn't really. All the testing and the indicators and all that stuff you have from technical analysis, when you're at a point where it's news vulnerable, you can just kind of throw it all out because it doesn't mean anything. And I like it when the technical analysis works. So I give it the best environment to succeed. If that's it, I'm going to go to lunch. Anything else? Going once, twice. Ooh, just the last second. MTD, sure. Oops, disregard that. It's tough. I don't know. I stay away from this kind of stuff. I don't know what you're trying to do long, short, but it's too choppy for me. Although if it gets down to 81 or whatever and it around there and it bounces, does have it's a key level, I guess you would call it. So you could take a chance, but XLE, same thing with what other energy stock were we looking at? Or maybe I was just looking at that earlier. You want to see some strength towards the end of the day. Otherwise, I'd be nervous about it filling the gap. Because right now, I like to see bottom out between 1, 2 o'clock. It starts to pivot. And then on the good ones, they'll just putter along, straight back to the other side. Once they break through VWAP, don't retrace in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I usually get in. I don't eat breakfast, Billy. So, yeah. Lunch is the big one. Is the seasonality okay? Good question. It's not bad. 66. I mean, it doesn't tell you not to get long. You look at the actual long. What's this ticker? MDT. Yeah. If you like it, the seasonality doesn't scare me away from it. Put it that way. All right. I'm out of here for real. If I didn't get to something, email me your question. There it is. See you, Brandon. Bye, Billy. See you, Todd. Have a great day. See you all tomorrow.